I'm Dave Froehlich. Thanks for watching this CrimeWatch digital exclusive, where we take a look back at recent crime stories that have been making headlines in our area and across the state. We have an update on a double murder that happened in South Austin, as police believe the couple's grandson is the killer. Fox 7 Austin's Katie Pratt has the latest.
Neighbors dialed 911 Saturday afternoon with concerns about the couple living next door after their grandson refused to let anyone inside their Austin home. The weekend welfare check turned into a double homicide investigation.
The person who called 911 requested a check welfare on a residence in the 2300 block of Brook Hill Drive.
21-year-old Chevy Monaghan is charged with capital murder in the death of his 76-year-old grandparents. According to the affidavit, the grandfather, Anthony Maxa, was shot 6 times. The grandmother, Sherry, was shot 3.
Officers arrived, they made entry to do that check welfare, and they located 2 obviously deceased individuals with multiple trauma wounds incompatible with life.
That's when they decided to frisk Monaghan, which led them to finding ammunition, a string of pearls, and 2 of his grandmother's prescription bottles in his pockets. When looking around the home, they noticed the Max's bedroom had been ransacked with drawers thrown onto the floor and jewelry boxes emptied. A pistol was found in Monaghan's room. Then, in the Max's vehicle, there were backpacks filled with dozens of boxes of women's jewelry, including rings, bracelets, and necklaces, along with bank checks belonging to the victims, as well as more ammunition.
This is being investigated as homicide number 44 and 45 for the year in Austin.
The legal papers state that the pistol was purchased at an Austin pawn shop in July. Katie Pratt, Fox 7 Austin News.
Plea deal has been reached for suspected serial killer Raul Mesa Jr. That's according to a spokesperson for the family of Gloria Lofton. Mesa is accused of killing Lofton in 2019. He's also accused of the murder of Jesse Fraga in 2023. He was also convicted for killing 8-year-old Kendra Page in 1982, but served only 11 years for that crime. Lofton's family says they were told about a plea agreement. They're not happy with it. The victim's family wants the suspected serial killer to go on trial. The plea deal is expected to be officially accepted in court on September 30th. Police are investigating a double homicide near an apartment complex in Northwest Austin. Officers were called out to a welfare check and found 2 bodies in the 5700 block of Deal Trail. The names of the victims have not yet been released. So far, there's no word on whether a suspect has been identified or might be in custody. Anyone with information about the case is asked to please call Austin Police. Police say a man was trying to break into a business, and new body camera video shows what happened before officers shot and killed him. The officer-involved shooting happened on September 10th on West Anderson Lane in North Austin. All 6 officers who fired their weapons are on standard administrative leave. No police were hurt. No charges are pending. Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shen has the update.
Dashcam video shows a man later identified as Franklin Miller raising his gun before officers fired at him. This was September 10th, around 11 p.m. Police say it started when a business owner called 911 about someone suspicious at her nail salon on West Anderson Lane.
There's a guy outside of my nail salon, and he has a gun trying to rob my place. He has a gun in his back pocket, just peeking in my salon with a rock in his hand and pulling on my doors again. Oh my God, I just hope this guy doesn't break in my nail salon.
Officers were dispatched in 2 minutes and came across Miller, who put his hand on his waistband on an object which appeared to be a pistol. Officers trying to get him to let go of it.
Put your other hand up, we don't want to hurt you. No, you don't. Okay, well, just put your hand up, we don't want to hurt you. You're putting us in a bad position.
He started gripping the pistol.
Drop the gun. Put your hands above your head.
In total, this went on for 14 minutes.
Sir, drop the gun.
Just let go of the gun. Put the gun down. It doesn't have to go this way. Please, just set the gun down on the ground.
Then Miller raised the gun and officers fired at him. Angela Shen, Fox 7 Austin News.
A convicted child predator in Hays County has been sentenced to 40 years in prison. A jury recently found 49-year-old Manuel Alderas guilty of the repeated sexual abuse of children younger than 14. Court records show he abused 3 victims from the time they were in middle school all the way to adulthood. All of his victims testified against him in the punishment phase. Hays County District Attorney Katie Arnold thanked the victims for their bravery for facing their abuser in court. Arnold says she hopes this serves as a reminder child sexual abuse will not be tolerated in Hays County. The Austin Fire Department believes a fire that injured 2 people at a South Austin apartment complex was intentionally set. Here's more on that story from Fox 7 Austin's Tan Radford.
Around 8 a.m. Monday morning, first responders were called to an apartment complex in South Austin after neighbors noticed flames coming from one of the units.
First crews got there, found a fire coming from a first-story apartment in a 3-story apartment building, and so they could see fire on the balcony, and they kind of knew what to expect because that's what the calls that were coming in were saying.
Firefighters say the fire was contained to one apartment, but residents were prompted to evacuate the building.
They found one person that was unresponsive. They were able to grab that victim and remove them out of the apartment, pass them on to additional firefighters who were waiting outside.
According to first responders, the person was taken to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries, and a second person was also impacted by the fire.
Another person that was treated on scene for reports of smoke. Not sure if they were in another apartment adjacent or they were just in the area and happened to inhale some of the smoke that was coming from the fire.
Firefighters say there were reports of a pet inside. They were not able to locate.
A lot of times the animals do get out on their own, but I didn't hear anything about what type of animal it was.
There were no reports of first responders being injured during the fire that took nearly 5 minutes to put out. Austin firefighters say the cause of the fire is under investigation.
Right now, the initial ruling from the investigators it was intentionally set, but past that, they're working with, in collaboration with the Austin Police Department for further investigations.
New details on a deadly stabbing case we've been following since 2021. Fox 7 Austin recently reported the U.S. Marshal's Office issued a murder warrant for a suspect accused of stabbing a man to death in South Austin. He was arrested in Temple, booked into the Bell County Jail. He later bonded out, leaving law enforcement agencies questioning the judge's decision. But now that suspect is back in police custody. Fox 7 Austin's Tan Radford has that story.
22-year-old Mithavar Antone Jr. was arrested in Temple Thursday, September 12th, after the U.S. Marshal's Office issued a first-degree murder warrant for his arrest. Antone is accused of stabbing 23-year-old Nicholas Martinez to death in South Austin on July 23, 2021. He was taken to Bell County Jail, where he bonded out 4 days later. The bond was set at $150,000 with no conditions, despite his lengthy criminal history.
Normally, on average, what we have seen in different cases here is, we're normally getting a $1 million bond on different murder cases.
The 22-year-old suspect was expected to be extradited to the Travis County Jail. Instead, he was released, causing a back and forth between law enforcement agencies on the appropriate course of action.
I was surprised, as well as I believe a lot of other people, that this was a $150,000 bond.
Fox 7 spoke with a local attorney that weighed in on the suspect being released last week.
I've had law enforcement pick up the phone to the DA's office and say, I just arrested Gene Anthus for X, Y, and Z, and he's on probation in your county for A, B, and C. You need to get a motion to revoke filed as quick as you can so that another warrant can be held on him.
According to the Travis County jail records, Antone was back in police custody Tuesday night facing charges of capital murder by terror threat. He was booked into the jail around 2 p.m. with a $10 million bond.
In Dallas, a student at SMU reported being physically assaulted on campus. SMU police say the attack happened inside the student's dorm room. Arrest warrants have been issued for 2 suspects. According to SMU, the student believes he was targeted in retaliation for a previous incident, but he didn't know the people who attacked him. Fox's Amelia Jones has the story.
On Friday, around 12:30 a.m., students at Southern Methodist University received a campus warning alert about an assault inside Ware Residential Commons. SMU police say a student reported he was physically assaulted inside his dorm room by 3 unknown men. The alert asked for help to identify 2 of them, captured on surveillance cameras.
We had follow-up emails and drills and testing for our alarm systems the following day.
Alexa Valentine is a freshman at SMU who lives on campus in the dorms.
It's obviously sad to see what's going on within our community when there's things like that occurring, but it's good that we're all made aware and that we're protected and safe.
Shortly after the alert, SMU police sent an update that the 2 men in the surveillance photos were identified and warrants were issued for their arrest.
It's good to know the verdict of the situation and to be kept in the loop till the end, so it's good that everyone's been identified.
Valentine says you need a student key card to enter the dorms, and the doors automatically lock when they shut. We asked the university how they believe the suspects were able to get into the dorms and if they were current or former students. The university told us they couldn't share that information as the investigation is ongoing.
So it is disappointing to see that something happened, like an assault, but it's good to know that they keep us informed.
The lack of mental health resources in Texas is being felt by the Kyle Police Department. Officers say it's impacting their ability to respond to calls. The chief says officers spend hours each week transporting patients instead of fighting crime. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has more on that story.
I know everybody says, oh, why'd you get in law enforcement? Oh, just to help people. But I truly find a passion in that.
Matthew Leathers is a Kyle Police mental health officer.
I think that this is a very different approach to law enforcement. It's I refer to it as the softer side of law enforcement. We have the ability to take our time on calls, and we can be out there for 30 minutes to 2.5 hours in patrol. That's usually unheard of, spending that amount of time.
Leathers and his partner respond to multiple mental health related calls a day.
I enjoy dealing with people when they are having the worst day of their life and something has just completely broken them down, and then trying to build them back using their own resources and then using the resources that we have as well.
He says he tries to connect people with therapy, rehab facilities, job training, and social services. As for mental health services,
we don't have a whole lot here in Hays County.
A sentiment felt by other Kyle police officers, too. In a recent survey conducted for staffing purposes, about 36% of patrol officers say there are not adequate mental health response programs to meet the needs of the Kyle community. Ascension Seton Hayes Hospital services people experiencing mental health issues through their emergency room, but Hayes County doesn't have its own inpatient psychiatric facility. So Kyle police officers are tasked with transporting people.
We do multiple transports every week.
From Kyle to San Antonio, Austin, and Waco.
There's just not enough places for people to go to get that inpatient treatment. Many of them get released because there's not a bed available with a treatment plan. And if they're not committed to that the next day and the next day immediately following the release of the hospital, then they relapse and we're back at their residence again trying to help them through yet another crisis.
Mental health officers will follow up with them.
If we're able to, we try to follow up weekly with individuals. Sometimes we kind of get backlogged with that, though, because the growing rise of mental health issues and conditions.
To help with the need, Chief Barnett says a supervisor and clinician will be added to the unit soon. Hays County Commissioner Debbie Inglesby says in a statement, quote, "We are actively working on initiatives to increase funding, improve resources, and foster partnerships with local organizations, all with the aim of prioritizing mental health and taking care of our community." Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch.
Finally, Round Rock ISD has officially sworn in its new police chief. Fox 7 Austin's education reporter, Jessica Rivera, talked with him.
Chief Urrutia says he's excited for this new leadership role with the district. He wants the community to know that he wants students to have a positive impact with local law enforcement, not just on campuses, but also in the community. Urrutia joins us from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, where he served for nearly 30 years in that community. He started as a detention officer and worked through the ranks to become a patrol officer, sergeant, lieutenant, and eventually retiring as the assistant chief deputy over jail operations. Now Urrutia taking this leadership role at Round Rock ISD. He says school-based law enforcement is different than patrolling the streets. It consists of making sure that officers are mentoring students and providing a safe learning environment. Outreach is also important to make sure students know they have a safe place with the law enforcement on their campuses.
We want to make sure our officers are well-trained, professional, and achieving every goal that is set by their own personal standards, and me being a part of that to make sure that they're properly trained.
The district currently has 15 vacancies. If you are interested in joining the Round Rock ISD Police Department, we'll share those details on our website. Reporting at Round Rock High School, I'm Jessica Rivera.
Thanks for watching the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. Our Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. If you miss them, you can watch anytime on our new Fox Local Connected TV app, which is free to download, and you can watch on multiple platforms like Roku and Apple TV. Just scroll down from the live player and look for the Crime Watch section. And for more on the stories highlighted in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.